I'm Bob Garfield for iMedia Connection, and you have blundered in to the lounge. It's like a TV show, only worse. I'm here today with Jen Samples. Jen, I know an awful lot about you, but you know more. You have 16 seconds to tell me everything you want me to know about you.
15 years digital experience. I love to shop. I love advertising. And I love what's happening in the mobile space right now with shopping and advertising.
The mobile space. You ever notice how it's not a segment, it's not a category? When we're talking digital, it somehow became a space. What's a nice girl like you doing in a space like this?
Well, I think I kind of fell into it. Maybe I blundered into it, coming out of a traditional media background into a digital. To stay on top of things, you have to be on top of everything, and mobile is part of the digital ecosystem. So I think being in the space, if you will, is just a part of doing business.
Okay, and so you run a boutique digital agency
I do.
Called Lasbro. How's business?
Business is fantastic.
How fantastic?
Well, we grew 300% in 2009, and in 2010 we doubled that, and in 2011 we have already booked more business than we did in 2010.
Okay, so one quick follow-up question. Why? Why? What? You're getting more business. Good for you. And I guess your clients are happy because you're getting more billings, more fees. But what are they getting out of the services you're providing? There's so much stuff going on in your space, then it's really, it makes your head swim to try to keep track of everything that's going on in digital, in mobile, in location, in everything that represents the marketer's access to the digital revolution. And some vast percentage of it is never going to work for anybody. Is this stuff working for your clients?
Yes. And you want to know why?
I'll ask the questions here. Why?
My team is smart as hell.
Okay.
No, one of the things we make sure that we do is we clearly identify what the goals and objectives are for our clients. And I think that's something that makes the difference. We're not throwing money to see what's working. We're not just working with any vendor. We have to stretch money because we treat it as if it's our own. And in a way, it is our own because we're a boutique business. And every dollar that we make for our clients that impacts sales benefits our bottom line.
So what's working? What is impacting sales for your clients? Are mostly in the health and beauty segments, right? So
yes.
What are you using? Are you using mobile? And if so, what applications of mobile?
We're using everything. We're using print, even though that doesn't come out of buying from our agency. We're integrating print with digital programs. We've built a social network for one of our clients in the cosmetics industry. One of the things that we do is a 6-week promotion every 6 weeks, whether it's generating SMS signups or video signups, having people come back and vote. We've integrated text messaging campaigns with in-store danglers. We've leveraged secret codes to have consumers go to a Facebook page or Twitter page and then come back into the social network. And we've also sent out barcode scannable emails to consumers so that they can go redeem them at specific retailers in specific markets.
Jen, I want to tell you this, and I hope never have to say this again. You are in the lounge, and in the lounge we do not use the word leverage as a verb. Okay, we cool with that?
Sure.
Okay, good. It's a little pet peeve of mine, my little bête noire.
Can I use monetize?
You can use monetize, but you have to demonstrate that someone's actually doing that. Tell me what, we are at an iMedia event, and we are awash in vendors of various kinds of platforms, various kinds of technology solutions. And everybody believes that they have the Holy Grail. And I don't think anybody has the Holy Grail. Most of the businesses here, many of them, are not going to be here in, let's say 1 to 5 years. Right?
Sure.
In fact, I would venture to say the vast majority. How do you know when you're talking to someone who's trying to sell you here, how can you tell the difference between someone who's just a really good salesman with a good line and someone who really has the goods? I am absolutely incapable of separating the wheat from the chaff.
So there's a few things. I mean, it's true. There are a lot of people in the mobile space who it's really two guys in their garage, and they're just trying to cold call, getting in to develop business relationships for their mobile platform. There's also people that have been tried and true, reps that I've worked with on the broadcast side who moved into digital, and now they're working for a firm that has some VC money backing them. And those are people that you really want to pay closer attention to, because they're banking their reputation and their, I hate to use the word leverage, but they're building relationships or strengthening relationships. So those are people that we'll talk to first. But we take every meeting that any vendor requests because we can always learn something. The second thing is we never know what our clients are going to ask for tomorrow. So it's better for us to be prepared and hear what someone's offering ahead of time so that when our client does ask for something, we're there with the right solution.
So in 5 years, say, what's going to be, of all the things that we're seeing here, what is going to be left in mobile? Is it going to be text? Is it going to be scanning QR codes? Is it going to be ads that follow you from retail location to retail location? Where's the largest amount of business going to be done?
I can't answer that question. And I don't think it's going to be what's left in mobile. I think it's going to be what's coming up in mobile. And I think one of the things that Apple has shown us with tablets, and now everyone else is sort of following that model, print is coming back. I mean, how neat is that? Everyone said the last 2 years, print is dead, print is dead. And now with applications for iPads, print is back. And you look at somebody like Gourmet Magazine that actually folded their print publication and then came back and re-released a tablet application. So I think it's more about what's coming. I definitely think video is here to stay. Mobile video is going to increase. I think we're going to always do text messaging. We may see more connectivity from a social environment, but I think you're just going to see usage increase over time, especially in the multicultural arena.
If I were a skilled interviewer, I would say, aha, I'm glad you mentioned multicultural arena because I want to ask you a question about that. But I don't for the moment because I want to, and I also understand that I don't represent anything but one data point and that my experience doesn't project. But I am what you would call a late adopter. And I mean, I don't even use more than 10% of Word, right? And I've been writing on Word for 20-some years. I don't even know how to work the damn thing. I can also tell you that I pay virtually no attention to advertising online except to the extent that I'm ignoring it. Because for all the reasons that you well understand, it's spam. And no matter how well targeted it is and no matter how collaboratively filtered it is, no matter how rich the media is, I don't want any part of it because I'm there online to do something else. When I'm out of my house, it's even worse. So if we can agree that infinitesimal click-through rates are a function of a lot of people being exactly like me, what do we know yet about mobile when it comes to my desire to avoid advertising instead of embrace it?
So what do we know about mobile?
Yeah.
One of the things that we know is it's a very personal experience. So you, who is a self-proclaimed late adopter, I would sort of, forgive me for saying this, put you in the same genre as my father, who kind of grew up.
Thank you very much, Jen. Very kind.
Who kind of grew up in a space as technology was evolving. And by the time he became a senior manager, he had a secretary to put together his Word or his PowerPoint, but he has an iPhone now. And that's a very different experience to how I use my mobile devices. And I think, there's another generation that people forget about, which are senior citizens or retired people who have time and the money and the influence over their generations or descendants. My grandma has 200 friends on Facebook. And you know how she checks it? Through her mobile phone. So I think it's a very personal experience, and how you use it is very different to how I may use it, or how a friend of mine, or how a 5-year-old child may use it.
And of the whole universe of users, is there any particular segment that's showing a desire, a willingness, an excitement about being marketed to through their smartphones?
We have seen that children ages 3 to 5 are very immersed in the experience. And what we found is their moms are giving them their tablets, they're giving them their iPhones, and they're encouraging them to use them for educational games and to watch videos on YouTube.
So what you're saying is that children 3 to 5 are
I think they're
are
great.
vulnerable to marketing messages.
Perhaps.
That's quite a can of worms you've just opened, and I hadn't even intended to go there, but that's disgraceful.
No, I think it's educational.
Okay, I want to talk to you about one more thing.
Sure.
Before I let you go, and that is location-based marketing. Now, there's Foursquare and other location-based social networks where you can check in and let all of your friends know where you are at any given time, and people do it because it creates a community.
Sure.
And so I get the allure of it, and but I think people probably don't understand what kind of trail they're leaving for just anybody. Not only on Foursquare, which is all about saying where you are at any given time, but even on Twitter, unless you opt out of geolocation, every tweet you send me with a simple software program that I can get online, I can trace everything you've tweeted to exactly the location you've tweeted from, going back through your whole life on Twitter, which scares the bejesus out of me. If I were a stalker, if I wanted to burglarize your house, if I, for a whole host of reasons, I don't think it's in your interest for me to know where exactly you've been. At some point, this is going to have an impact on marketers who think that geolocation is the holy grail. Quick answer, and then I'm going to kick you out of the lounge.
Well, I think it scares the heck out of me, too. I don't want someone to be able to break into my house. And I think one of the things that we have to be cognizant of is the FTC is going to step in at some point. And we're seeing that right now with behavioral targeting. So marketers have to be prepared. If they're doing a location-based program, that they may have to pull it. So that's where my job comes in, and I have to educate my clients who are brand marketers about what the impacts may be should something happen with privacy loss.
If that's the golden egg, location, is the goose going to survive?
I think so.
All right. Jen, thanks so much.
It was so nice speaking to you.
Welcome to the lounge, and get out of it.
All right.